Hi, everybody. Kenneth G Hasty here once again, back in my office after being on a road trip for clients. I was in Orlando and San Antonio and Dallas. Love that nice warm weather down in the south. So back up here in Columbus, Ohio. Anyway, when I did my recent video about asking questions, one of my good friends and mentors, Tim Lehman, uh, put a comment on there, and he asked, well, how do you know if you're asking the right questions, and how do you know if you're not asking the right questions? Well, good questions, Tim. So let's see if I can answer those. So one, if you're, assuming you're not just meeting somebody on the street, but let's say you've targeted somebody, um, and you go in and you start talking with them, or you talk with them on the phone, you don't want to ask them what type of business they're in. You don't want to ask them, what kind of business they're in or what problems their industry has. These are easy things to answer by Googling, even if you don't have a clue, by Googling their business, their company, et cetera. You don't want to ask them anything, it's a typical, sex, religion, and politics things. If you don't know somebody very well, just stay off those subjects, regardless of how you feel about, our current administration, if whoever the president is at the time, if you walk in and go, oh, that dumb president couldn't believe he did this today, well, you find out the person you're talking to is a nephew of the president. Fortunately, a nephew of a president friend of mine, a nephew of a former president, shared the same last name and had the president's picture up in his office. And fortunately, I happen to like that president, but real simple things like that. Same thing with religion and politics. You start going off on, the Pope, or you go off on whatever's going on with whatever, the, Middle East, et cetera, and you're talking to somebody who may be a follower of any of those different doctrines, and you start slamming that doctrine, you're in trouble. So don't ask questions about religion or politics. Don't ask somebody what their sexual preferences are. Don't ask them their age. Same kind of things you wouldn't ask somebody in a typical PC job interview, right? You don't want to ask stupid questions. If things are fairly obvious, and you go up and you just ask, oh well, are those your trucks out front? That's probably not a good way to make. Because basically what you want to do is you want to show yourself as a knowledgeable resource to help them with their business. They're not going to give you their money or their time if you don't come off as knowledgeable and have an understanding of what they do and who they are. I will typically look at somebody's Facebook if I can find it. I will look at Spokio. It's funny, I don't know if you ever tried Spokio or not, but Melissa Endo used to work for me, a top-notch salesperson, and she's at the time, a single lady, a lovely single lady, and she says, whenever I go on a date, I look them up on Spokio. I'm like, what is Spokio? And it's a membership that you pay for it. I think it's a once-a-year fee. It's not very expensive, but it's kind of like Big Brother. You can find a lot of information about people. You'd be surprised. Look yourself up sometime. And no, I don't make a penny from Spokio. I just happen to use it when I want to really check somebody out, especially if I'm hiring somebody. So then also LinkedIn. LinkedIn tells you a lot. You can look at somebody's profile. You can see their path. So don't ask them stupid questions that they expect that you probably should already know if you did any kind of homework. Because if you don't take the time to do some homework these days, with everything so readily available on the internet, or at least by asking around references and things, then they shouldn't buy from you. Sorry, Tim. Well, Tim is very knowledgeable. But anyway, so seriously, if somebody comes into you, think about it. If they're a salesperson, or if they have a company, and they start asking you questions that you feel are dumb, you're going to find a way to get out of that conversation and move along. The fact that you're listening to them in the first place means there might be a chance that you might want to buy. Same thing when you're talking to somebody, there might be a chance that they may want to buy, or at least they want to kind of hear it out, see how they feel about it. But if you start asking dumb questions and you don't ask questions, specific to them and their industry that make sense, then then you're going to be in trouble. So hope that answered your question. If not, ask me another question on there. Happy to answer questions, and then I'll do another video. The next one will be on what questions to ask. How's that sound? There's two different topics, right? Well, thanks everybody. Kenneth G Hasty here once again. You can find me at kennethghasty.com. You can email me at kenneth@kennethghasty.com. And I'll put a link in here for a phone appointment if you want to call me for a no-charge conversation, see how I might be able to help you. So anyway, hope you're doing great and look forward to talking to you guys next time. So Kenneth G Hasty signing out. Take care. Bye.